Hi guys, I wanted to do another video. I got a lot of questions on this page when I did this supersonic video on how I get dimension using modeling paste without using a stencil. So what I thought I would do is use a lot of the same products and then go a little bit more in depth on what I'm doing and answer some questions. So here's what I was thinking. Before we get on to that, I wanted to let you know that I'm also going to offer this tag journal with this cover and this cover. So I'm just going to add the more vintage look as the cover as well. So if you want to go check that out, it'll be in the choices. Like when you go to purchase it, it'll be in the, you'll have to make a choice between the vintage or the purple. So I just want to let y'all know that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you, I don't know how well you can see the dimension. And sorry about the glare. It's some of the India ink is super shiny. But while I was blow drying it, I even swiped my blow dryer through while it was still wet. So there's a little bit of a flub there, but that's okay. I left it. So this is a J, obviously. This is also a printable that I have in my shop. They're hand-drawn letters, and all you do is print them out. This is not full size. I printed this out at 75%. So I got my initials, J and H, and but if you want, I've been playing around with it, like trying to use it in different ways, and I printed on this, what's this called? This fabric transfer paper for your printer. So what I did was I took the background from my Southern Charm digital printable, and I printed that first, and then I took my initial from my Doodles printable, and then I printed that on top, and then ironed it onto this canvas. So I haven't put any paper in it yet, but I did the backside just the purple background, and then this side I did the J, and then on this one I did it with an actual spine. So the same process, I just, you know, put a spine, and then I put a Tim Holtz binder clip in there, and I haven't really put anything in here. I was just kind of playing around. But if you all would like to see how I did these, just leave me a comment below, and I'll do a video on it for you. And if right now the printable is just listed for the whole alphabet, the alphabet printable. But if you want it just certain initials, I can list those two separately for you. So you just send me a message over on my Etsy shop. So what I did was I printed it out, and then I just really fast trimmed it out. I didn't even print it very well. I just kind of did the fast print and then trimmed it out really quick. So it looks like that. So the way I started this page was I glued a piece of old book page onto the page itself. So let me do that really fast. Also, before I do anything, I put a piece of masking tape around that hole there so it doesn't seep through. So I'm just going to glue this down right here, and I will be right back. Oh no, I glued this down right there, and I'm going to use a mixture of PVA glue and water, and I'm going to decoupage it down. Okay, so all I did was I decoupaged the book paper down, and I decoupaged the letter over top of it, dried it, and then I just trimmed off the edges. And so the next step is to add the modeling paste, which is, I just used the Liquitex flexible modeling paste. You can use any modeling paste. You can make your own texture paste. I think the baby powder and gesso and all of that. I don't have that recipe on hand, but you can use your, just make it a little bit more to make it a little bit more flexible. You know, don't make it quite as thick. And what I did when I did this page is I have it in this squirt bottle. And I guess not really a squirt bottle. It's just a thing with a little pointy tip. And you do have, it will clog a little bit in that tip. It'll dry, but if you know, take a safety pin or something and unclog it, it really actually stays good in here. If you don't have something like this, you could just use a zippy and cut the corner off. You know, put some modeling paste in there and then put it all the way down the corner, twist it, and then snip the corner and use it that. And then the way I'm going to do it this time is I used to make my kids' birthday cakes, so I have all kinds of like cake decorating stuff. So I have all of these decorating bags, so I'm going to use one of these. And I have this whole set of cake decorating tips. So what I'm going to use is, I've already got it in here because I used it already once. I'm just going to use the one with the little tiny hole there. So I like the decorating bags because they're thicker and they're a little bit more sturdy. But I've been playing around with the different tips, and while I was doing that, you would think, oh no, it's going to get clogged in there. But what I've been doing is after I played with them, I'll just stick them in some water and just let them soak in some warm water. I know that looks kind of yucky, don't it? But it's, whoops, just poured it on myself. Let me clean that up really quick. Okay. So anyway, if you just let them soak before you can get to them, to clean them, it works just fine. So I'm not going to use these for food. I'm only going to use these for this now, but all you need is the bag, and you can use these tips too in the Ziploc bag too, also, if you would like. So now I'm going to get it started, and I used it earlier, but I wrapped it kind of a little bit with a baby wipe so that the tip wouldn't dry out. So, I'll move that out of the way. All I'm going to do is, it doesn't really matter where you start, but I'm going to start with the flowers. Let me get it to where I can hold this a little better. Maybe I'll come in a little closer. How about that? Okay, so I'm going to start with the flowers. And basically, you're just going to follow the outline. If you get out of the outline, it does not matter. You just keep I mean, if you look at this one, you can't even see the picture or the printout at all. So from the different stuff that I put on top of there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just do all the flowers first. And then I'm going to wipe my tip off a little bit. Then I'm going to come back, and I think I'm just going to do the outline of the letter now. And you could make them thick, the lines thicker or thinner or whatever, it doesn't matter. See how nice this comes out? So cool. Alright, and then I'm going to do these lines. It's like a ribbon that's wrapping around the letter. Alright, I've dried it a little bit, but I think I'm not going to do put all the lines on this side. I think I'm not going to do that on this side just to see the difference and what it looks like. But I do want to try to put some more detail in these flowers. There's kind of like some swirly doos here. I may not be able to get that many. Okay, and then I'm going to add some detail around the edges. Just kind of like a border. Or a frame, I guess. Whoops, I got out of frame there. A frame that I got out of frame. I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a clip back on the bottom of this so it doesn't dry out from that side, and then I'm going to wrap the tip with the baby wipe. Let me move it out of the way. Alright, I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. If my camera lens is kind of heavy. Oops, sorry about that. So it doesn't like to just kind of zoom. It either wants to go all the way or barely. Come on, hold still. Ah, boom. Alright, while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to protect this side from spray. So I just got a piece of wax paper and masking tape, and I'm just going to mask that off. Like that. And that PVA glue is making my page wrinkle a little bit. Alright, I'm going to dry this just a little bit more, and then I'll be back. Alright, it's not totally dry, but usually when I do stuff like this, it's not totally dry. I don't know why, but I don't seem to mind that it's... I might have to use a clip to hold this sucker down. If it's wet, it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to hurt this. Okay, so I'm going to use the Spray India inks again. And first I'm going to make this a little bit more vintagey looking, because that stark white paper kind of stands out a little bit more than I like. And I'm just going to add the color. And then leave that in. And move it around a little bit, maybe tilt it. Okay, I changed heat guns from using the Ranger heat gun, because it doesn't, and I started using the more powerful heat gun. It moves the ink around a little bit more, and I like that look a little bit better. It's not totally dry. So on this page I used a lot of purples, of course. I love my purples. But I think I'm going to do more of a green-ish feel, green and blue for this one, for this side anyways. So I'm going to use the green and blue spray inks. I'm going to start with green. By the way, I learned the hard way, if you shake these when the cap's off, you might get color on you. So don't wear anything that, you know, you really want to keep good and clean. So alright, I'm going to start with green. My green doesn't have the best sprayer. Not sure what happened there, but I got it all over my hand. Baby wipe. I'm going to add some blue here and there. And I'm going to add some white. And then I'm going to start moving it around. Alright, the first layer is dry. Pretty cool how it starts seeping into all those little crevices and stuff. And how the modeling paste kind of stays white for the most part, which is kind of cool. So, look, I just did it again. I shook it with the lid off. Maybe it's just this one color, this green. Alright, I'm going to add... Seems like I want to do the flowers in a different color. What color? What color? I gotta do it. I gotta do it. And do my purples. And I'm just trying to get close to them it's not going to matter that much, and it's all going to blend very nicely together. Maybe a little white to that too. And then stir it up some. Alright, I'm going to leave that right like that for now. The next thing, I'm going to take some Inktense blocks and I'm going to make sure that it's got the same tone as this, since they're going to be side by side. So I'm going to use the same color that I used in that other video, and it's called Bark, which is like a brownish blackish color. Let me move some of my inks out of the way. So all I'm going to do is take a piece of it and just not even really worry. And this is still the modeling paste. I could still, if I bumped into it, I'll be able to move it. So I still need to be a little careful. But I'm just going to go along the outside edges of the letter. Alright, and then I'm going to take a little paintbrush, just a little one. This one is a number 2 round paintbrush. And I'm going to use some water and just go where I put that ink down, where I traced around the letter here, and I'm just going to get it in all of the different little crevices, even in between where the ribbon is, coming around it. And one thing to remember about Inktense is once you wet it and it dries, that's where it's going to stay. So that's now all dry. At least I think for the most part it's all dry. And I just went around the letter and I went around the edges. And I tried to get in between where this ribbon is. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to take, this is iridescent calligraphy copper plate gold India ink. It's pretty cool. That's what I used in the last video. That's where all that shine is coming from, and then what I put in the key and around the heart. So I'll show you how I did it. I've also made a spray with it. It's not quite as intense, and I gotta shake it up really good. But it does actually work. So so I think what I'm going to try to do is I might even use it like a paint. Let me get something to put it in. Hang on just a second. Okay, I got this little dish right here, and all I'm going to do, oops, is I'm going to put some in this dish, and then I'm going to use a paintbrush. This is probably the same one I just used. Let me grab me some water too. I might need some of that. And paper towel. I'm just going to paint it on like where the ribbon is, I think. And we'll see what that looks like. Now I think I'm just going to give it a spritz. And dry. Okay, I got that part dry. Now I think I'm going to get this dropper back out and squeeze everything out of it. And squeeze this back up and use that so it doesn't go to waste. And I'm just going to run it. Look how bubbly it looks. Across the top here. It might not be enough. And then spray it with water. It's just water. And let it drip down. Let me pop these bubbles. Jeez. Come on, bubble pop. And move it up. And move it around with the heat gun. Alright, I'm going to flip it around and do the other side, or the bottom. This time I'm going to have to get it out of the jar. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit, I think, on the sides too. I'm just going to use what's left over there. Kind of frame it in a little bit. Do the same thing, give it a little squirt. Oh, I hope you can't hear my stomach growling right now. It's a little crazy. Alright, I'm going to dry this up and I'll be back. Alright, so basically that's the technique. Obviously you can add more detail to it, more or less, whichever you prefer. You could do some more detail with some black pen or brown pen, or you can fill in inside of there a little bit with more color. If you can see on this one, you know, I put the modeling paste in between with the lines there, and on this one I didn't. I don't know if you can tell there's lines there. But yeah, so that's basically the technique that I used when I made this supersonic speed art journal page. So I'm going to finish this up another time, but I did want to show you a real quick flip of this. What I've been doing is this is just a little book that I made out of some, oh shoot, junk mail. And I just gessoed all the pages, and so it's what I did is I just basically wanted to play around with using that modeling paste in this technique, you know, squeezing it out of a bottle versus using a palette knife. So I'm gonna scooch you in a little closer so you can see. So this one is just a freehand drawing of a girl's face, and sorry about that glare. And I wasn't too terribly concerned about the whole thing. I'm just playing, I'm just experimenting. So I think it turned out pretty cool. So what I did was, it was just an all white background, and then I used the bottle with the modeling paste in it, and just started freehanding a face. And then once it was dry to the touch, I just started spraying in certain spots. I didn't really use a brush, until I came to her eyes, and then I did take a little brush to fill in her eyes. But other than that, it's, oh, and her itty bitty bit of her shirt there. But it was the same technique, you know, spraying it and using the Inktense blocks to edge it and to give it a little bit more definition in certain spots. So that was a freehand drawing. And then this dude here, this is a stamp. And here's another, hold on. There's where I stamped it off. That's basically what it looks like. Nope, hold on, my hubby's calling. Basically that's what it looks like without any color. It's just stamped. So let me just go back in. So I stamped it with some permanent ink, and then went around it with the same modeling paste in my little thing there, my little tube thing, and a bottle. I guess it's just a bottle with a point. Anyway, my husband keeps distracting me. I let it dry just a bit, and then I just sprayed, not being too careful because it actually got all over. Sorry about that shine. It's all over the place, but that's okay. I didn't care. So then I just sprayed it just like I did the page earlier, and then I took the Inktense blocks again and went around the edge to give it some definition, and then this is Inktense blocks too, just to give it a different color. But I really liked it. I like the way it turned out. I think it's really, really, really pretty. So that was using a stamp. And then this was also using ink stamp, and you saw me do that. It was the stamp set. Hang on, let me grab it. Oh, I have to reach across my... It is a Tattered Angels stamp set, and it's called Timeless Romance, and it's gigantic. It's a 12 by 12 stamp set. So this is the stamp set that I used for this page. And then I used Inktense pencils. These pencils here, I used them to do the writing, and then I used a Faber-Castell Pitt pen to go over top of it again. And let's see, what else did I use? I also used this India ink, this copper plate gold India ink. It's a really pretty, I'm not a huge gold fan, so it's a really pretty color. It's not exactly gold, and it's not exactly, I don't even know, it's not copper, it's not gold, it's just a really pretty color. It's like a vintage gold or something. And then I used my sprays, and then I used the Inktense blocks also with this page. And that's about it on that one. I really liked using the stamp. It made it pretty cool. And then, oh, this one, let me scoot out just a little bit. This one here is just a freehand drawing, I guess. I had a song stuck in my head. I forget what it's called, but it's like, "Ooh, baby, you're a wild one," or "It's a wild one," or "It's a wild world," or whatever. But for some reason, it got stuck in my head, and I got to thinking about nature, I don't know why, but I did. So, whoa, hello. So I started drawing these flowers, just freehand drawing them. I like flowers. And then I drew this tree trunk and an extra tree branch there, and made some grass and then some leaves using that same bottle of modeling paste. There's some more leaves. So when I sprayed, obviously I sprayed purple here and pink here and blue here, but you can see it goes out of the lines. But that's okay, it kind of gives it like a watercolory soft effect. I used different colors in the tree itself, in the trunk of the tree. But this was really fun. So I freehanded this one, and it kind of looks like a painting. I don't know, but I like it. So that was another option. You can freehand anything with that bottle, which makes it really cool. And then the back page, just love it. I'm going to scoot back out a second. It is so stinking cool. You can't tell probably, but see that dimension? Holy smokes. You know what that is? That's the modeling paste. Except I used, hang on, I'm trying to do this one hand so I can hold the thing out of the way. I just used one of those tips that make leaves for icing instead of a pointy tip, and made these really cool. Let me focus. It's not focused. Oh, hang on. There you go. Made these really cool looking leaf shapes. Right? At least I think it's really cool looking. So, and then I wrote my name with just the pointy bottle. This was supposed to look like a ribbon tied, but if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's okay too. So then I sprayed, you know, some different greens up here and browns and blues. And blues and purples and greens down here. And then I used that gold India ink up top there. But yeah, it turned out really cool. I have it on my Instagram. I really like it. Oh, let me focus again. There we go. Sorry. Hopefully I'll edit that out. But I wanted to go get you one that hasn't been used yet, and I want you to see the difference. Hold on. The whole point of me trying to find ways to get dimension without having to use a whole bunch of thick stuff is, you know, sometimes our books get really fat. So, and it's because all this different embellishments and stuff that we use, you know, like in this one, I need to be careful not to squish this. That's not too bad, but the sink, you know, it is thick. It's, oh, you can't see that. It is quite thick. So, you know, I love it. It's beautiful. But if, you know, I don't always have to have something so dimensional on my page. So this is like, I mean, I just can't even tell you how cool this is. I hope you can see it. I wish you could feel it. Okay, so this is what it looks like. This is the exact same thing that this was, except there's nothing done to it, except I did do a little bit on the front. But you can see how thin it is, and it's the same amount of pages, just been gessoed. It's actually the same junk mail. I just cut it in half before I folded it into this book. So you can see the difference that, whoops, I'm trying to show you that it doesn't add that much thickness. All that dimension that all through those pages, and it doesn't add that much thickness to it. So I'm totally loving this technique. Especially, now I will tell you, if you're going to do something this thick, I mean, some of it's like almost, you know, it's like 1/8 of an inch high off the page. I mean, it might even be more than that. But if you're going to make thick things like this, you have to let it dry a little bit longer. I wouldn't touch it. I mean, I did spray it while it was still, you know, wet, and that's okay, but then I couldn't touch it at all. So I left it overnight, and it's just so cool. Y'all have to give it a try. I mean, I'm just totally digging it. I love it a lot. So this is what I've been doing the past couple days. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see more videos using this technique, and let me know if you want to see a video with me using my digital printable doodle letters and show you how I got this effect like that. Let me know if you want to see that. I can make a video for that. I hope this video answered all your questions that you had from my supersonic speed video. What happened here was I was just playing, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn the camera on, because I'd done that one, and then I did that one, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to record this. I didn't speak the whole time, at least not that I realized. I may have spoke to myself, but so that's how this video came. I just turned the camera on and I just played. So I didn't know what was going to happen. I just was playing, and I just wanted to use those products. So I hope I answered all your questions, and if you like this video and you want to see more videos using this type of technique, leave a comment below, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to go over and head up. Well, shoot. Don't forget to head over to my Etsy shop and check out this cool tag journal. And again, I'm going to offer this as the front cover as well. So this will be vintage, and then this will be the purple. It's probably how I'll say it, vintage and purple. So those would be two choices for the tag journal. So, all right, I guess that's it. Well, until next time, bye.